Sir, this is the report.
Again, like the last time, there are a lot of mistakes.
Please
How
allow
many
me.
times I have to tell you, Mr. Rakesh,
I will
you
not
should
repeat
improve
this next
yourself and you should make sure the
My
next
model
time
is
this
not
kind of
right.
data should not come to me.
That's why I couldn't prepare it properly.
What?
I will try to improve.
The company doesn't really want to
Allow me,
listen to all
sir.
these excuses. It's your personal problem. Right? But why exactly I have to tolerate this? I've given you a lot of time and I'm telling you, this is the last time.
Sir, this is the last time.
Sorry? If I'm really not going to get the reports on time, I'm not going to be any more kind on you. You may find a different job next time. This is not the way how you should really present your reports. I really don't want to see this rubbish. Welcoming you to this session of wellness. Today we have an interesting topic, that is employee wellness is no more a fancy, it's a basic need. We are standing in a time when we talk about employee wellness. Everywhere it's a buzzword. Most of the organization, they're really thinking about how to really enhance the employee wellness, or in short, how to make sure that the employees are really happy and they're engaged. Are we really able to do that with this kind of efforts, or it is just a myth? We are just going to discuss this topic today. But before we discuss this topic, I think we must understand that how exactly we are talking all of a sudden about wellness. It has been seen that most of the time the employer thinks of wellness when there is a problem, or when there is some sort of productivity issue in the company. Most of the time it has been seen that the employer really think about the wellness when they realize that their performance is coming down to the bottom, or for some reason the employee productivity is visible in their ROI. And that is when we talk about how to enhance employee productivity. But if you really look into the matter, the employee's performance or the employee's productivity all boils down to only one single fact. Are we really treating the employees properly? Are we really understanding the way how exactly this human capital should be managed? Today, in the world where we are talking too much about wellness, well-being, employee wellness, we have to understand that the employee wellness only boils down when we really understand that how we engage the employees. And if you really look into this fact, a proper engagement can only happen when you really know how exactly you are mapping the employees, how you are basically ensuring that each and every employee is really being assigned the job, how exactly we are engaging them with their KPI, and in short, whether that employee is really enjoying working in this job or not. Because most of the time it has been seen that people are just dragging themselves to the office. They really do not have a purpose that why they are even existing in the company or in that particular role. So if you really want your employees to become productive, you have to understand that you have really been able to engage them with the job. And if you really want to see that they are really every day coming energetically doing their work, they should really have the purpose. They should see the bigger reason to be a part of your team. And then only you can find a positive and an engaged workforce. So in this workshop today, we are basically going to have a lot of talks about employee engagement. We are talking about employee wellness, but we are definitely going to highlight certain issues which is really going to be an eye-opener for us. We have some guest speakers today who are really very much well known for their wellness knowledge. They are known for their expertise in counseling the people, and they basically are very prominent figures of society who really can shed light in this topic today. So I would request you to stay tuned and listen more on this topic. Before we go into, I just want to give you a few facts which I think are really burning. Today, it has been seen that when people are talking about that the employees are leaving the organization, we always start thinking that what exactly is going wrong? Probably the employees are not happy in the company. What could be the reason? Is it the stretched hours? Or is it basically that their bosses are not really understanding, or they are not emotionally intelligent to realize what exactly are the pain points? If you really don't understand this thing, it's time for your organization to take a break and reanalyze your employee culture. Understand that what exactly is really the pain point. At times it has been seen that the employees from the external features, they will always look very happy and they're engaged, but internally you will find that more than 50% of your employees are not happy. They are looking for switching to some other place. It has been seen that there was particular information which has come from the statistics of US labor statistics, which say that between April 2021 till this April 2022, approximately 71 million people have resigned, and which is also known as Great Resignation. So it has been seen that approximately 3.6 million people are leaving every month. And why they are switching jobs? They are basically not happy with their role, they are not happy with their manager. So next time, if your company is having a problem, it is probably we are not really understanding the employees. We have to understand that these people are human assets and they should be treated as humans. And if we really have not the time and patience to listen to them, we are really losing a bigger part of our productivity. So without wasting much time, let's join into today's talk show where we have some wonderful guest speakers who are going to shed more light into this important topic, employee wellness, and how exactly we can make sure that we take care of our valuable human asset or the employees. Let's join in. Wellness, we sometimes forget that the wellness is very important in our life, and employee wellness, if you talk about it, is more vital because this day in organization people are talking about productive employees. We want that everybody should be giving their best at work, but how we can ensure that everybody is doing well, that is always a $1 million question for the employer. And at the same time, the employer, maybe sometimes they're trying their best to provide all the means and amenities or the facilities, but still we are not able to ensure the wellness of our employee. So I'm sure this topic is something which is a burning topic, and often we talk about this day a fancy phrase, we are burnout. So I remember this once I was reading a book. This has come from a 70s some psychologist, Harvard, Mr. Harvard, who basically found this topic, this particular burnout. So today we say how we are burnout. So if we are burning out, how exactly we can ensure that we do the right thing so that we don't burn out, or we can ensure that we really are healing up and we are recovering ourselves. So to shed more light into this topic, we have our guest speakers today. Already 3 of our guest speakers are already there. The first guest speaker I would like to introduce is Madam Glory. She is a very talented person. She is a wonderful speaker. She is an international counselor. She is a psychologist. She is a mind mapper and many more things. Of course, she has an international background. She has basically worked for some MNC. So she is here today to give us more light and more information on what is wellness and how we can really make sure that we are really living the wellness and not just a myth for us. And we would definitely love to listen to Glory. Our second speaker is today Rai. Rai is basically a yoga expert. She's a social influencer. She's a young, a blogger. She is doing a lot in terms of influencing and impacting people's life, because this day, when we just see yoga from typical gurus and people with white beard, we see a young, smart girl, she is teaching yoga. So that is something brilliant. So I'm sure this is something which is going to help us. So she'll be also joining us. I think she is not visible in the frame right now. Probably she has left, but she is going to be there very soon, and she will be. Yes, she is joining. Okay, let her come in. Okay, yes, right. So we lost you for a while. So she is the one who is basically our yoga expert today, who would be telling us about the importance of yoga in our life and how exactly we can take the spiritual aspect, the aspect of wellness, and how we can connect it. Because at times she's also a good speaker. I've seen in her couple of videos where she was inspiring people, and Rai also is going to get more light on
The
that.
thing is,
Hi, Rai.
hello,
Okay,
hello. It's a network problem going on.
no
Okay.
worries.
The in pandemic, it's also happening with me. Suddenly, I'm starting being a. I'm a basically a Bengali actor. But
Okay.
suddenly, in when it's pandemics going on, the time I remember it 2019. So
Mm-hmm.
the time my work is suddenly stopped, my work, all work is stopped. What I'm doing? What do I do? Like that. Money problems is also come.
True.
So it's happening actually in everyone's lives, I think. But
Sure.
suddenly I remember, okay, I also learned yoga in my childhood. I'm a national player that time actually.
Wow.
So I start the yoga, doing yoga practice in home. Then suddenly I take a video, okay,
Okay.
and video I posted in my social media. Suddenly it's gone up viral,
Wow.
and so many people are connected with me in other countries. And that time I'm a being a Bengali, in being a Bengali medium students. So my English is not good. Okay, not much good. Now only my English is not good. So that time it's like, oh my God, how do I connect it that peoples? They are from another country's peoples. How do they understood my language also?
Right.
So sometimes it's a main basic problem. We can't share our things. We just scared about that. Oh, no. How do I speak? It's not my language. It's a main problem in our generations.
So
We
I
never
think
share our
so. I
thoughts.
think today,
We
Rai,
never,
you would be more happy to speak to a multicultural community. We really don't have any barrier of
obviously,
language.
now
So
5 years,
feel free.
19, exactly, 19, even though that's all things I never share after that.
Wow.
I never, before that, I never share anyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just today, I share someone, even though in the, you know that our industry, Dadagiri shows, Didi I think so many shows is there. They are
Exactly.
always call me, please come, attend the show. But I never go. Nowadays, I thinking, okay, fine, I will go.
But I'm really
Certain show.
delighted that you have really joined us. We are all delighted that you have joined
That
us, and
suddenly,
we listen.
see,
We listen to you.
this is called spirituality. You know,
This is
now
spirituality.
just before you called, it's a spirituality connection. This is the actually spiritual connection. When you
Absolutely.
send me, I never seen you. I never read your anything. I never know about you. But
Oh yes.
my manager just suddenly sent me the message, madam. Some people like this send us message. Can you join? I just told him, okay, I want to join. Okay,
Perfect.
so this is the spiritual power.
This is a spiritual power.
When you
Absolutely.
practice, exactly, when you practice your own self, when you practice how to you being a happy person. Okay,
Right.
when you happy, so someone, I mean, in front of anyone, when they see me, so they see like, okay, she's a very happy person.
True.
Okay, so those are seeing me, those are feel that vibe. Okay, she is a spiritual person. Only that kind of people connected to me. Those are wants to be happy. Those are trying to be create something. Okay.
True. True.
So it's all over. It's everything happening in the universe.
Absolutely.
We are not create. We are not a creator. Universe is the creator.
I just would take a little pause. I will request you. I'll just finish my introduction because we have two other speakers. Let me introduce quickly. We have Mr. Diep Le, who is basically from Vietnam. Mr. Diep, hi. I would basically request all the speakers to give their introduction, and of course, they can give their initial speech, and after that, we would be having our question answers, and then we'll have more interactions. So we have this session for 1.5 hours. So there is a lot of things we can do in this 1.5 hours. We have Mr. Sanjit Basu, who is also one of our important person today. He is basically more or less a regular contributor for this forum. So welcome, Mr. Sanjit. Welcome, Mr. Diep. He basically is a philanthropist, he's a motivator and a speaker. So he also wants to really make his contribution today for the employee wellness, and I'm sure we'll be all delighted to listen to him. At the same time, I can see we have our audience already, Mr. Paul Simba from all the way from Congo, Mr. Leonard from Kinshasa, Mr. Venus, he actually was in Sudan, but now he's in India. We have Mr. Susil Raisinghani from India. We have Miss Monisha Bhatia from India. So they are basically our audience, and we have Mr. Aro also from Kinshasa. So they're all going to listen to us, and I'm sure it is going to be a very interesting video. And with all your permission, we are basically recording this topic so that we would be having this video later, so that many people who may not be able to join this will be telecasted in your maybe the public forums, which could be YouTube, which could be LinkedIn, even the Facebook pages, so that even you can also join your followers, even your fans, or the people whom you really want this video to see. So this could be shared afterwards also. So I would request Madam Glory to start the speech with her introduction, and just followed by the sequence will be Madam Rai, or it could be Mr. Diep, whoever feels like, and then after that, Mr. Sanjit. So you can go with your initial introduction, and of course, you can shed some more light on today's topic, which is employee wellness is really not a fancy, it's a basic need.
Lovely. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Das, for organizing this. There's a very strong need for this to happen. More debates, more discussions for us all to get into. I'll go on with my brief introduction so that everybody can go through a round of self-introducing themselves, and then we will jump into the topic. So I'm Glory Khanna Singh, and I'm a counselor. I'm based out of Chandigarh, India. And I work with multiple corporates. I look after their employee well-being. I design programs for employee wellness. And I also do employee counseling. So I look after the employee aspect, employee mental health aspect for multiple corporations. And yes, I have 2 clients internationally as well. So that's where my work is in. And I have a master's in psychology, which is basically into counseling and organizational psychology. And then I did my second master's from University of Pennsylvania. It was a specialization in positive psychology, which is basically the science of happiness. So I studied extensively into understanding what is well-being and how can we flourish in life. And that is with that idea that I go around and I talk to people and I meet at corporates and just look after how can we make people flourish in life. It's not only about existing or living your life, but how can we make somebody do better and thrive and flourish. So that is the whole idea that I go by. Thank you so much for this opportunity and look forward to a very interesting conversation. Over to the next speaker, please.
Thank you, Glory. So I would really invite Mr. Diep if he can say a few things about himself.
I am humbled after hearing Miss Glory from India sharing. You, Miss Perfect, we're ready to be here in silence and listening to you. Sharing about everything. This is like your field. This is amazing. Thanks, everybody, for being here. My name's Diep, and I'm from Vietnam. I'm based in the capital city of Vietnam, which is in the north. Just in case you're going to head over here for traveling or business trip, just hit me up, right? Yeah. right now I'm working in the field of education. I'm a university lecturer. So I study in Australia, both for undergraduate and a master's degree. I got a bit of experience working in finance, as discussed with Mr. Des the other day. But now I'm mainly teaching business English, and so that's a cross sort of discipline profession, in tertiary environment. And I'm happy to be here today to be lectured by Miss Glory, and also to be learning from all of the amazing people here. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
We are also very thrilled to listen to you. Thank you so much. So I would request Ms. Rai if she can give her introduction.
Namaste. I'm Rai Kotha from Bengal, Kolkata. And I'm a Hatha yoga teacher practicing yoga from the childhood. And also I'm a national player. And yes, I practice yoga and I share yoga to do yoga and wake up early morning. It's my main subject. Wake up early morning, 3 to 5 a.m. When you wake up early, then you start your life so smoothly and so perfectly. So yes, yoga is the my subject.
Amazed. So we have a yoga expert today. The yoga expert, she is going to give us more information how yoga is important for the wellness of our life. And I'm sure we're going to listen more from you. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. We have Mr. Sanjit Basu with us. Mr. Sanjit, if you could introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank PMA Initiative and Premankur Das for bringing this wonderful platform so that we can share our thoughts, we can share our ideas. So myself, Sanjit Basu, I'm from a small city called Siliguri, which is in West Bengal. And I'm a teacher by profession. I have been in this field for the last 20 years. Basically, I started my journey by teaching multimedia, but later on, I found this profession or this platform or this area more interesting, and which I always aspire to be a trainer, or always I aspire to be a speaker, and I've been doing this for the last 10 years or more than 10 years. So, and to be very frank, I'm a self-taught person. I haven't gone any big university. I haven't gone any big institute, as you know, most of you are speaking, but I'm a self-taught. Whatever I have learned, it is by myself, watching others and listening from others. So thank you so much. It's all about myself. Thank you.
I think that's the humbleness which you have shown us, sir. We have to learn from that. So I think it's not about going to a big university or a big country. What is important is that how much you have been able to learn in life. And that is what is really, keeping you rooted. And that is the secret to grow in life. The tree which is rooted and the tree which is grounded always grow as a bigger tree and always bear the sweeter fruits. So I'm sure that is one of the learning from you. So thank you, sir, for being a part of this show. And
sir, experience is the best teacher. So you haven't gone to fancy universities, but you've learned from the true experience that you've received.
Absolutely.
And wishing you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have our guests also. I would like if the guests can also introduce themselves. Mr. Leonard.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Leonard is there. Okay, so Mr. Venus is also there. Mr. Venus, okay.
Yes,
you can see Mr. Venus. Mr. Arrow, if you can raise your hand. Okay. Monisha, are you going to turn on the video or are you going to say hi to us?
Yes, hi everybody. Hi, my name is Monisha and I'm from India. I work for JP Morgan Chase. I'm in HR. Thank you so much, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
And this is really a topic which is very close to the HRs, isn't it? Yeah. So how exactly it's going to impact the employees? And really the wellness thing is really there or not? Or what exactly you are doing, that is important for us to understand. Are we doing even the right thing? Are we really listening to the employees? That is something which is important for us. So I'm going to
True.
really not take much time. We have Paul and Mr. Shushil. If you can just say hi to us. Sushil Raisinghani or maybe Paul or okay, fine. So I think if they are not available, we can just straight away go to our speaker. Glory, I would request you if you could start the show with your speech and shed more light on this topic today. We are really eager to start and listen from you.
Okay. Yeah, I completely understand. I do not have a speech ready, but definitely when I saw the topic, I was telling Mr. Das that this is absolutely something which is the need
Yeah.
of the hour to discuss and to talk more about it. Mental health, I feel from maybe where we were 10, 20 years ago, we've come a long way. There's a lot more acceptability towards mental health, but can we say that it is all over the place? Can we say that now everybody's talking about it? Can we say that now it is not a taboo anymore? I would say we're not there yet. So it is still a taboo. There's still some level of stigma attached. If we are comfortable to say that, oh, I have a migraine and I need to meet a doctor, that's still very acceptable. But the moment somebody has to say that, oh, I'm going through depression, or I'm having anxiety, or I have mood swings, or any mental health related concern, people do not feel very comfortable openly talking about it. So I feel there is much of a stigma attached. And when we talk about mental health in the office spaces, I feel like in the workplace professionally, the whole dynamic has changed. Maybe 10 years ago, none of us could have imagined a lifestyle of working from home, or ever a possibility where, we would just be working from a laptop and not having the need to go to offices. Now the world is becoming a smaller place. Like somebody could be sitting, thousands and thousands of miles away and could be a full-time employee of a company. So, technologies are changing. The internet access, work from home opportunities. So it's making the world smaller, but it's also increasing a lot of competition. It's increasing a lot of stress that our generation is experiencing. The working environments have changed drastically. With the sudden experience like what we all went through with COVID. Companies experienced huge losses. A lot of them were lost as to what to do. A lot of businesses were shut down. So people didn't know what the future is like. And then there is still a lot of there's still worry as to anything can happen anytime. So there's the tension, the stress in the mental health field. What we now commonly say is that the next pandemic will be something related to mental health. So, anxiety, depression are absolutely on the rise. And I feel, which is why talking about employee well-being, employee mental health is the need of the hour, because globally, we experience in the global economy, the mental health impact is up to $1 trillion every year, which goes out because of burnout, increased absenteeism, decreased productivity, increased attrition rates. So all of this going along is causing a major financial hit also to the companies. So which is why I feel majorly companies are moving towards looking after mental health and focusing on mental health, but it's still a fraction from compared to the larger pool. So there's a lot more can be done and should be done. That's basically where I would want to start off with and want to take over everybody's opinions on what
Sure.
they would want to add to it.
I would really ask who would be the next. Maybe if Miss Rai would like to speak, or Mr. Dev. Miss Rai, would you like to
Yes.
give your idea on this? Like how exactly you are thinking? How do you see wellness as such?
Mm.
Like, what are your points as a yoga expert? How do you think that wellness is really
Definitely.
important? Of course, it's important, but then from your
If
eye
you
as a
talk
yoga
about the wellness, if you talk about the wellness, you want to be happy and healthy. So you have to start yoga. The only thing yoga helps you, because yoga manage your stress also, mindfulness also, and your eating style also.
expert.
So when you eat healthy, you stay healthy. And the main things, you don't forget to quality sleep. You need to need your it's our need. We forget to sleep actually.
Oh, yes,
We're doing your work, night work, morning work, night work, and the main things, the sleep.
I
We
agree.
forget it. Forget it. Okay? just skip the sleep, and we're doing so many things.
Oh, yes.
So it's a very wrong thing. In the 18 to 30 age people, these people are doing things. Okay, after that 35 people there, I mean, they realized, oh, I'm doing so much, I'm doing so many things, I'm doing wrong. So
Mhm.
after 35, if you think like that, so it's not good for your health.
Yeah.
So if you, I mean, you have to sleep well, you have to eat well, you have to wake up early morning. When
Right.
you wake up early morning, the only time 3 to 4, the only time, and the main time is 4 to 4:20. The main time you wake up, please wake up and
So I
sit
would just like
down.
to ask, how many of you wake up at 4 to 4:20? So I think that is something a takeaway for us. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
how many
inspiring us.
people? Yeah,
Please.
how many people? Because the only that time the universe also quiet silently. So you directly connected to the universe.
Mhm.
If you make a wish, your desire, your happiness, anything, you talk to the universe.
No.
If you don't talk to anybody, if you don't comfortable to talk anybody, if you don't talk or comfortable to talk your anxiety about the anxiety, about the stress, it's okay, fine. Some people are not comfortable to share their things to
Mhm.
anybody. It's okay, fine. You share with the universe.
True.
You just sit down, wake up early morning, especially 4 to 4:20. You don't sleep, please. You just forget your bed
Okay.
and just sit up and do the some of meditation. Just listen the chanting, just listen the smooth sounds, or sit down. After that, you practice some of exercise. Then you just walk, and then if you feel the weakness, and if you feel, oh no, I want to sleep again, it's okay, fine. After 6, you can just take a nap after 6. Okay, but
Agreed.
you wake up early morning, then only you stay healthy.
I think
Okay,
that is
so
so important.
start learn to yourself. Okay, first learn yourself, then you
Learn
teach
yourself.
someone.
Oh, yes.
Then you teach someone. When you starting learn yourself, then everybody is actually it's showing yourself. You know. Okay, listen to me. If you teach someone, please please stay healthy. And your I mean, eyes is so dark. Your eyes is, I mean, show your face is dull. Your in your face is showing the darkness. So it's not good.
Oh,
First,
yes.
you start, be healthy, be strong, then teach someone.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
yoga is the main thing.
Mr.
Yoga is the
Mr.
main thing.
Phineas,
You
please
have
mute yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Please carry on.
some people, not some people, so many countries people every day text me. Every day they text me, ma'am, how do I start yoga? Ma'am, I don't get a time to do yoga. Okay, fine. You have time to scroll the phone hour and hour and hour. You have time to scrolling the phone, but you don't have time 20 to half an hour. You don't have 30 minutes to do the exercise, some of exercise. So at first, write down in your diary. I'm wake up early morning, then 20 minutes I have to do exercise for my body, because our body is the temple, and in the our soul is the God. So at first you clean your body, then only the God is staying there.
Yeah.
Very
So
important. Very important. And in fact, it's an eye
very
opener for
important.
many of us.
Maintain your body.
Oh, yes. So the temple lies in the body itself. Absolutely.
Exactly. See, when we saw the very beautiful temple, mostly the South Indians, I love South India. I don't know why I connected too much to South India. And I always go to South India. All students are South Indian. They are staying another countries. Okay, they all are staying in other countries. So South Indian people, South Indian temples are very clean. Their temple is like a you sleep. Sleep, yeah. Okay. So when we see the temple is good, so we think, oh my God, here is a God is very powerful.
Yeah.
Something is
That's a
there.
very
So
natural
when
thought.
you're,
Yeah.
yeah, natural thought. So it's the main things. You maintain body very perfectly. You maintain your face. You maintain your aura. And how do you maintain your aura? How do you maintain? Tell me, how do you maintain your aura?
Maybe you can say that.
If you sleep
Oh,
if you
yes.
sleep early morning and wake up the evening, it's not clean your aura. It's not aura. Because when sun is rising, sorry, tell me the English word. Sun is rising.
Rising.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, so when sun is rising and you like slept,
You are sleeping,
so
right?
it's not good. It's not good. It's very bad for your health. When sun is wake up, you also wake up. Why the Muni Rishis are creating the 12 steps of Surya Pranam? Why the Muni Rishis are creating Patanjali creating Surya Pranam and the Chandra Pranam? The English name is Sun Salutation and the Moon Salutation. Why? Tell me. Because we thought Shiva is there, Buddha is here, and Allah is there, and so many God names. We have so many God names, but we only see in our generation, we only see only two God. We watch in our eyes. The one is sun, second one is moon. These two God we only see. So,
Perfect.
so that the Muni Rishis, worship them. And then, for that, we doing the Surya Pranam and the Moon Pranam, Chandra Pranam. So we have to wake up early morning.
Sounds like we're on vacation and try to wake up in the morning and try to breathe in fresh air and be in the moment and
Just
feel
to wake up
everyone's
the
surrounding.
morning and watch the moon, watch the sun.
Hey, that's
Watch
right.
the sun.
I think it's quite.
Yes.
I think it's quite ideal to give that sort of advice to people who work
yes,
time 9 to 5. For me, I wake up when my son wakes up because I am the person who takes care of him. Quite busy, apart from my work, I have to take care of my son. I'm not a single person, so it really depends. But yeah, I feel you, the kind of advice you give to people. Get into some sort of discipline and try and wake up early and give your time a bit of give yourself a bit of time and to be just be, So it could be 4:20, it could be 5, it could be 5:30 or even 6 something, but at least give yourself a bit of time before beginning the day. I think that's a really good piece of advice.
Also the important thing is you eye contact with the sun.
Oh yeah.
More
like
important. And
it
when
reminds
moon is want to wake up, is wake up, you also go outside and please watch the moon.
Yeah, your sharing reminds me of some Buddhist figure. He just passed away earlier last year. He's actually from Vietnam, but he's well known, all over the world. I'm sure Miss Glory knows him because he also toured in America, quite often. His name is Thich Nhat Hanh. He's probably considered to be one of the founders of mindfulness practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. He's considered to be the top 2 or top 3 Buddhist figures of our generation.
In the field of mindfulness. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, we all know Dalai Lama, and the second one should be the guy, that I just given. And he also gives the teaching on how to just be, practice the art of mindfulness, feel the sun, talk to the sun, walk as if we're kissing the earth, that sort of thing. So your sharing, yoga teacher, your sharing over here reminds me a little bit of mindfulness. Yeah. And of course, Miss Glory, you are an expert in this field.
Yes. As Roy was mentioning, sleeping, eating healthier. I mean, as you said, Deep, I think waking up time can differ for everybody depending on when they're able to go back to sleep or what time are they able to, get done with work or whatever personal requirements they may have. So I completely agree with that aspect. But yes, looking after our health, wellness definitely comes from sleeping, eating, and exercising. That's a very, very strong aspect. And then looking after your mental health by, practicing mindfulness meditation. So these aspects are definitely considered very critical to our well-being.
Yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to give some time for the other speakers to speak up, and then we could get into a discussion.
So
Yes.
maybe Mr. Sanjit, if you'd like to make some point on the wellness. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my experience about wellness in the job place or in the workplace. I want to share a small story, and I think Mr. Primankur Das also can relate to it. So when I started my journey as a teacher way back in 2000, so I joined a computer institute to teach multimedia. Okay. And as I started my first, that was my first job, and I was very excited. I was very motivated to do my best, to give the best to the students. I was really doing my work very hard, and I was learning a lot of things. So that way I was doing the job. But our boss there, he was a little different. So what I used to do in my off time, I used to sit in front of the computer. I was learning a lot of things, and I was doing some research there so that I can give better and better to the students. And my boss used to think that I'm just, passing my time sitting idle, doing nothing. Okay. So from once my boss called me and said, Sanjit, what you do? You are always in front of the computer, sitting idle, doing nothing. So then I said, sir, I'm meant to be teach. I'm a teacher. My job is to teach, and if I want to teach, I have to learn. Otherwise, how can I teach? Well, no, Sanjit, this is not the way. You have to be very active. You have to be very active. So from that day, whenever my boss would come, I would become very active, because that was not. And whenever he would come, I would become very, very nervous, or I don't know what to do, and I was under tremendous mental stress. Whenever my boss would come, I would think, no, now what to do, because I'm a teacher. I cannot do some marketing job, or I cannot do some counseling job, or I cannot do all these things. So that was my experience of what happens that in a workplace, if you are not treated well, if you are not treated according to your profession.
Yeah.
So that why I want to share this, because this thing happens in each and every workplace.
Yes.
Because the employees they are not given proper opportunity to do their best. They are always judged by their activity. Then how active they are. If they are running from here and they are cabin to cabin, so that is not the thing. So, and thankfully, and after that I left that job because of I was not coping with the situation. I was feeling mentally stressed. I was not happy. So I left that job. Then I started my own journey of doing freelancing, teaching, giving some speeches, all this stuff. But when the pandemic started, COVID-19 started, that is really a boon in disguise, a blessing in disguise. COVID-19 really opened our eyes that what is wellness, what is good for the employees. And after that, most of the employers, they started giving some extra opportunity to the employees, like work from home. A concept came, work from home. Then you have There are no flexi time. You can work in your flexible time. Then the mother, the father, they are given some new, you can say, new ideas or
Maternity
new
leave, paternity leave.
paternity leave, maternity leave, all
Yeah,
these things.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
they started thinking about it. And another aspect, I want to really share here. Once one CEO was asked that who is your priority? Who is your priority? So the CEO said, yeah, definitely my customers are my priority. So then he was asked again, who came first in your company? Who came first in your company? The CEO said, yeah, employees came to my first. So then the employees should be your first priority, not the customers. Because if you take care of your employees, definitely your employees will take care of your customer, your clients.
Well
So
said.
your clients should not be your first priority. So your employees should be your first priority. And if you take care of your employees, definitely your employees will be happy to take care of your clients. So that is what I want to say from my experience, that if the employer, they give the right opportunity, if they give the right treatment to the employees, definitely employees would be happy to do all the things. And right now, a lot of things are happening in the corporate field. A lot of things are happening in job place, that they are given some yoga session is there. Then you have a gym is there. They can go to the gym and they can do some workout in their free times. And
Yeah.
also there are some companies, they have their recreation place or recreation hub, where they can go, they can sit, they can just roam around and do some small talks. So that what happens, they really relieve their stress, they really become fresh. And also I have seen in some social media, I don't know how far it is true or false, I have seen somewhere that in China, in China there is a system that someone can take a nap in between
No,
their
it is there.
shift. Okay.
Yeah.
So they have their bed just beside their cabin or something like that. They can have a nap, they can sleep there for some time, and that thing really gives them energy to do work more and more.
Absolutely.
So this is what I would like to tell the employers or the people from the corporate
Mr.
field.
Sanjay, culture-wise, I'm not sure if it's a thing in India, but in Vietnam, it's not very unusual for people to bring pillow and a sort of mattress and bring it to work, and so they could have a short nap after lunch, right at the table, right at the desk where they work the whole day. So it is a cultural thing here in Vietnam. Just FYI, yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Good to know that.
Yeah, a lot of foreigners, when they come to Vietnam, they're surprised by the fact that people also take a nap right, at the desk at the workplace. But after time working in the country and spending time, surrounded by the Vietnamese people, they think to themselves, "Well, this is amazing." They have a bit of time to take care of themselves, aka nap time. Yeah, even though it's like only half an hour, but it's really valuable, especially to a lot of people who require a certain amount of sleep in between the shifts, just like Mr. Shanti shared.
Yeah.
So,
as you see, as Mr. Deep said, taking a nap for half an hour or 45 minutes is very good for health. And I think also Mrs. Rai Kotha, I think you also agree with that. Taking nap is very good. And but not the least, I would like to say one thing, that the employers should always encourage the employees to take their lunch maybe, or take their some snacks or something like the tea, not in the cabin, but outside of the cabin. So they go outside of the cabin and they can have some walk, they can have some small talk, they can have their tea or coffee or maybe a snack, and that will really refresh them. So getting refreshed is very, very important.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I would like to take, and that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjit, for your invaluable tips. I'm sure we are going to definitely do all those points which you have said. I would quickly come back to Ms. Glory with a question because, as I understand from Mr. Sanjeet and all the other speakers, that wellness is really an important thing and which we all have to give prioritize for that. Of course, by understanding from the employer's point that how much of facility we are really giving them, whether it is enough or not. And then finally, we also have to see that whether we are really doing the right thing for the wellness or not. So I want to know from Ms. Glory that since you have been a wellness speaker and you have been organizing few workshops, so what exactly are your experience when you are actually trying to convince the employer or the managers and telling them that wellness is also a priority, and they only realize it when exactly their productivity is hampered or they find that they are not really getting their target, and then only they talk about wellness and not before that. So how do you really feel that, and what exactly the challenge is as a wellness speaker?
Sir, I would genuinely want to highlight a point here, at least with the organizations that I have dealt with. I feel like now HR is also, upgrading their skills. They're also reading a lot about mental health, and mental health is now a buzzword. So it's not like, people are in the dark about it. It's not as much as exactly as I was mentioning that maybe 10 years ago, it was still a taboo and a stigma. It is still marginally there, but I feel HRs of big companies, good companies are at least open to the idea of having HR or at least having mental health interventions into their organization. So when I deal with the HR heads and when I discuss with them, we basically come on with the idea as to what can we do. So, usually they're not coming in where I have to convince them that do this, do that. It's more with the idea that, Glory, we want to do well for our organization. We want to bring in a change. We want to make our employees happy, suggest ideas, share ideas. Let's discuss with our employees, get on counseling calls with them, speak with our employees, give us a feedback maybe, after a month or two, tell us what key points have you figured out. So I see that there, it's maybe coming to a point where people are meeting midway. So there is effort and understanding and growth coming in from the employees aspect as well at an individual level as well. People are becoming open to the idea of talking about mental health, decreasing the stigma around it. So as a culture, as a society also, we're all globally, I think mental health is becoming a word that we can openly talk about now. So it's becoming easier to talk about that. And the HRs of companies, I feel it comes down to, Mr. Das, affordability. So, maybe smaller companies are not able to invest a lot of energies into, employee well-being. But once they reach a certain level, then is when the employee well-being aspect comes in. Then is when they can spend on extracurricular activities. That then is when they can spend on team building activities, certain things like that. There are companies who have now moved to a 4-day week. So when Sanjeet was mentioning and sharing ideas of things, globally, we've seen there are a few companies who have taken over the 4-day week concept as well. And it has shown to increase productivity, but not for it to become a global phenomenon. I think it will take some time. But having said that, I feel like it is somewhere that people are meeting midway. So HR is also trying their best to open up opportunities, organize workshops, whether it is, providing them with a standing desk or allowing them to take a mattress. That of course is like a cultural thing. I am not sure if that happens in India anywhere. At least I haven't come across companies like that for sure. But I think from where I come from, culturally, I feel what is the norm is to send employees out for, team activities, send them out for lunch. So that is they focus more on relationship building to lessen the stress. There's stress management workshops organized. There are, retreats organized, 1-day, 2-day retreat. Maybe town halls are organized by, bigger companies where all the intermingling can happen. So, physical initiatives, some companies provide them, as Sanjeet was mentioning, gyms are provided in the facility itself. Some companies provide gym memberships. Some people hire counselors like me. So, if the employee has a need to speak to a counselor, I think we've had excellent response whichever companies I have worked with. And I know a lot of companies are moving towards this step because, giving the employees an opportunity to speak with somebody when you're feeling extremely stressed. At that point, you can't think of going to the gym and releasing your stress.
Exactly.
At that point, a team lunch is the last thing on your mind. So I feel when a company hires a counselor or gets into, there are multiple bigger companies which provide virtual support as well. So when employers are showing interest towards mental health, I think that also gives the employees a lot of confidence that my employer is concerned about my mental health. When they show that there is a mental health expert on their panel, on their, yes.
I have a question here. In fact, to all my speakers today, see, actually, you
Yeah.
have spoken about a bigger spectrum where you have said that affordability is definitely an issue. Many companies can afford, small companies cannot afford. But I think, don't you think that even if we ensure that we are giving the best of the facilities for the employee, for example, say I imagine that a company is giving all the free stuff for the people, all the foods and beverages, they are giving all the best facilities, but still the employees are not happy.
Yeah.
Or you take a second case where the company is saying that you can bring your mattress and pillow and you can sleep for 1 hour. I'll never mind, but I want my target to be fulfilled. But still you find the employees are not productive. Or you take a third case where you find that, yes, I'll come to you, Mr. Diep, where you find that you are giving your employees a freedom that you can take as many number of leave and vacation as possible, and the company is not going to ask you a question. But still you will find that the employees are not productive and happy. So I think this is what, and the second question which I would like maybe Mr. Diep can say, that don't you think it is also the mindset of the managers and the employers? Because when we talk about that we are really concerned about your well-being, the employees are really not grateful that you are thinking of my well-being. Maybe it is a pandemic which has triggered that people have to think of your well-being, and we are saying that I'm thinking of your well-being. So if somebody is caring of my well-being or not, that hardly matters to an employee. What matters to an employee is that whether it is being realized by the employer. I have seen, like Sanjit was giving an example, that where a person has to please someone, have to stretch hours. Still, I can see even in Dubai, even in other countries also, I see people have to please the bosses. They are always stretching their hours till the time boss is there in the office. And many times we are talking about 8-hour shift, 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift. Why does even it has to be? If you have already set the KPI, you know what your employees are supposed to do. Why you want them to stick there for 12 hours? Why do you want them to stick for 15 hours or 14 hours? That doesn't make sense. If the employee will spend 12 hours in the workstation, then when they will do yoga, when they will get up at 4 a.m., which Ms. Rai has said, if they will go to their bed at midnight, is it possible to get up at 4 a.m. to see the Brahma Muhurta? They cannot catch up the Brahma Muhurta in that case. I'm sorry. So I think it's a mind shift which has to. So I give it back to Mr. Diep, who can shed more light from his experience as a teacher and his experience with the students. Yes, Mr. Diep.
Right. So those ever demanding, physically and mentally demanding people, they always want something new, something challenging. Say everything's so simple to them, so easily doable to them, then they look for something else more challenging. Sometimes it could be a sense of belonging. They don't feel like they belong here. They don't feel like they feel like they are at home, the second home, right? So they go to their home and then they get back to work. So we have to try, as, management wise, as the employers, we have to try and make them feel at home with a sense of belonging and make them feel like you are also making a life here, not just making a living. Right? Come to the company, it's your second home, a sense of belonging where you feel at home with your family members and your co-workers, like that. So I think we try to inspire those people, not just productivity wise, but also I really like a saying that goes, we should hire the skill. We should not hire the skilled people and try to motivate them, but instead hire the motivated people and inspire them.
Yes.
Make them feel at home, because work is also the kind of living that you're trying to make. So somebody told me, don't forget to make don't say, just give me a few seconds here. Don't forget to make a living, or a bit awkward here. Somebody told me this one. It just came out of my mind. It's just popped
Never
out.
mind. That's okay.
But there's try and keep a balance between making a living and making a life. You know what I mean? So consider and treat the workplace as your second home. That's what I mean here. So
don't forget to make a living and forget to make a life.
Don't forget to make a living. That you forget to make a life.
Don't make a living and forget to make a life.
Okay, something like that. Try and make a balance there. So at my workplace, I work for a university, and this is not my first workplace as a university, but I feel like at home here. I feel like I belong here, a sense of belonging, of course. So how did they do that? There's actually a very important day that I always look forward to joining, throughout the semester. So there are like 3 of these days throughout the year, academic year. That's called the Family Inclusion Day. So they welcome all the teachers and the staff to bring their family and experience the whole day at work. And I feel like, oh, my family, my real family is also taken care of it. They also receive something, so I feel like the workplace that I'm spending most of my time during the day, now is actually my home. I don't feel like going to work. I enjoy working there, spending my time there. And I consider it to be my second home. I have a sense of belonging there. So I don't look into the other opportunities of jumping job or like seeking other jobs, even though they are better paid, to be honest, because I feel at home at work. Yeah.
In fact, employees this day doesn't want that they should get a high salary. They want is a peace of mind. What we call in like an Indian language shanti, which is very important. But we are really not getting that peace of mind, and we are just running for a mirage. And that happiness really comes to our life. That satisfaction never comes to our life. We keep running till the time we exhaust ourselves. So my next question is, if there is a Chinese proverb, I think everybody relates or everybody knows that if somebody loves fish, you don't give him the fish, but teach him how to do the fishing. Yeah. Isn't it? So exactly. let's make sure that maybe I would ask Ms. Rai that if you are really going to give tips to someone, like we are suppose going all through the same phase, what happens majorly in this kind of counseling and talk show, we are all talking about wellness, but maybe we ourselves are also going through the same phase.
Yeah, they never do anything.
Exactly.
Those are always talking about stay healthy,
yes,
wellness, mental health. They are
but we are not doing
suffering
that.
From them.
We are preaching, but we are not practicing the same, isn't it?
Exactly. So then first practice yourself.
Very true.
My all students are like that. They are professor. They are doing some job. They are doing very good in their profession. Okay, and they come to me and they say to me, "Rai, I want to leave." So that time I just only told them, "Please leave yourself."
Yes. So how to leave? How to leave? Give us some tips. How to leave? How to live like a very satisfactory and a peaceful life.
Just in whole day, just first you just try to do 2 hours on yourself. Forget everything. Only 2 hours in whole day, 24 hours. Only really 2 hours. Give yourself.
Invest time for yourself.
Invest time for yourself. Main things, when I'm starting from the 19, now I am a 33 older. Now I'm a 33.
Okay.
So 2019, I just remember.
But you look very young. You look like a 19.
Yeah, it's a yoga created that.
Okay, wonderful.
Not me.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. So yes, what I'm telling, 2019. I remember when I start to spending time on me. I forget everything. Just spending time on me. That time my family told me, "Oh, you are not my daughter." My mother told me, "You're not my daughter." So I asked her, "Why, ma?" So she told me, No, you are not like that girl. So I just asked her, so which one good? That one or this one? So shut her mouth, okay?
Okay.
Because she know that this girl is good,
Ah.
but but she don't. I mean,
I mean, you brought the
it's not
transformation in yourself. That is the positive one.
exactly exactly. But the surrounding peoples they can't afford me.
Oh, yes. So that means
So
I believe.
when you realize your surrounding people don't
Mm,
accept you, that means you're doing something. That means you're doing something.
that's a very important
So
point she said. That's a brilliant
exactly.
point she
So
said.
so first invest time on yourself.
Uh-huh.
When you invest time on yourself, so everyone it's showing yourself exactly. My English now I am talking like that. It's
It
not
is brilliant.
impossible.
It is brilliant. Don't
It's
worry of your language.
impossible.
It's
I
okay.
can't say English like this. I can't say English because my background is Bengali medium background. Okay.
That
And
doesn't
in
matter.
the
That doesn't matter.
childhood, in the childhood, I'm a very talented girl. Really, I'm very talented girl in the childhood. But I can't read anything. I can't read the books. Okay. Tomorrow is exam. Just today night, I read 2 or 3 pages like this. Okay, this. Okay, I just measurement the number 40. Okay, I get 40. Okay, pass. I'm pass. Like this. Okay,
Uh,
but when I connected my soul to the universe, it's actually universe. So many
you have got yourself muted.
never
Yes.
know the name, country's name. Really, I never know the country's name. I never listened this country's name also before that. That country's people's connected to me,
I would
connected
quickly
to my
come down to. I'll quickly come down with my next question. Please, you unmute. Okay. I will just quickly come down to Glory because
Yeah.
Rai right now said a very important point, and I'm sure everybody will resonate with that. She said that when you are perfect, when you are 100%, like Rai brought a transformation in herself. Like previously, she was not so disciplined, and after 2019 pandemic, she has changed herself, and she has become a completely different. So everybody in her surrounding is not able to accept her because they are sometimes jealous with her wellness.
Yeah.
So, wellness is a kind of even a state of mind that when people are happy, another person who is not happy doesn't like you to be happy. So,
exactly.
it's a peer pressure. So, you see, one employee is happy and another employee is somehow not able to become happy. And it is not exactly nothing to do with the employee, but that employee or even the employer the owner of the company has got a lot of problem and he cannot tolerating why his employee his story is always cheerful. Like Mr. Sanjit said, that he is very happy, positive, but employees think, I have so much of tension in life. But you see this guy, he's so happy. Every month he's taking my salary, but I'm not really seeing him to be. So some people, unfortunately, some people in the society really want you to be a problem. And that is when they feel the happiness.
Exactly.
So to that, I can
What you
only
really want to say as a psychologist or as a motivator?
I would say that if you are happy, if Rai was able to find happiness within herself, and people around her were not able to accept her or adjust to her,
Yeah.
that didn't have any impact on Rai. She had found her happiness, she had found that growth. It's the people around her who need to find that growth.
Exactly.
The satisfaction, the contentment with wherever you are, however you are, and being happy in somebody else's happiness and growth is also a sign of growth and maturity. So
Mhm.
definitely maybe people around, I feel like those people who are not happy for other people's growth and happiness. For example, when Sanjeet said that he was happy doing whatever kind of work that he was doing, and if his boss wasn't happy seeing him cheerful and happy, he quit the job, right? So he changed his surroundings to probably move to a surrounding which could help him flourish a lot more, because
Mhm.
he was able to disassociate himself from that. Okay, I have to quit this job because maybe people around me are not really happy about my happiness. and I'm going to move forward with it. The way Rai said it, that she had found that growth, obviously she was talking about family, and Rai was able to, contradict and question that which one do you like better? And that led to a beautiful conversation between her and her family. But to your question, I would say that we need to come to a point of flourishing where the noise around us shouldn't matter to us as much. We are all struggling. I would say that nobody has a perfect life. As you were mentioning, that some people strive for money, and now people are striving for, peace of mind. I would say there are still people who are striving for money, depending on what the need is. So it's not everybody who is, working and he's working for the peace of mind, right? Not everybody can afford to do that. People have responsibilities, people have various other needs that they need to fulfill. So everybody is working for a different motivation. Maybe in some part of our life, in some age of our life, in some chapter of our life, we were also maybe motivated only by, a different factor. Maybe money was our motivator. And maybe 10 years later, I'm not motivated by money at all. Now I want more respect. Maybe now I'm striving for power. Maybe my salary is less, but now I have a more powerful position. So some people get the kick out of that. So what motivates you will always differ. It's not apples to apples. Different people will have different motivations, different reasons to be working. So I think that is the whole ball game, where the employer is trying to figure out and assign an employee to the right motivations, to provide them the right motivations in return.
Right. Thank you so much, Glory. I would request now the audience, who are basically like Mr. Sushil, Leonard, Miss Mohana, or Aro, who are there, if they have questions, if you can ask our speakers, our guest speakers. We're really so glad and fortunate that we're listening from them. Mr. Diep, Mr. Sanjit, Miss Rai, Miss Glory, all are there. They're already made their point, but I think we just have another half an hour time. So if you can just go for the Q&A, Mr. Venus, if you can just come up with your questions, I would really appreciate it. Just raise your hand so that I understand who wants to ask the question, and I can ask you to go with that.
Am I audible?
Please.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, actually, I'm in the bus, so there may be some noises. First of all, I would like to say thanks to Das Saab, because you have raised the question which was running behind my head throughout this conversation, and I didn't want to swim against the stream. But when you said, when you are doing something for the employees, employers are expecting that the employee should follow and feel happy, but which is not actually the case, because you have not created the environment first where the employee feel elevated, heard, or feel, as rightly this gentleman said, Mr. Deep, that belonging to that place. And that is actually, I tell you, during my little time in the defense, I really understand the importance of the Brahma Muhurta, what ma'am was saying, because we were to get up at 4:30, and we realized that time was so divine, so energetic, and that made us disciplined. That throughout my career, I was never late in punching my timing, login time for office. Okay, that is just because we were been disciplined during our defense time, where we are used to wake up early. So that made us a habit, good habit. So that was thing apart. Second thing, this gentleman, Mr. Basu, he raised a very nice point.
His voice is
that
breaking.
the employer have some have a specific mentality to consider an employee has to.
I think your signal is not good.
Employee has to work in.
If you could repeat your question, because we lost you for a while. There was some distortion in the voice. Yeah, please.
Yeah. The thing was that how to break the mentality of the employers and the CEO and the managers. They are the reason they are the leading the organization faster.
Okay.
There has to be a brainstorming, as Das is very correctly. that from top to down rather from down to upward. So please give us your views on that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Basu can say because he also wants to like go. So Mr. Basu, what exactly are your point? Do you think like we can change the mentality, or is there something where exactly we can strike a balance between the employer and employee? More largely talking about changing the environment. What sort of environment? Of course, Ms. Glory has given some certain suggestions. We can go for the team building. We can go for the team outing. But what more you think can be done for changing the environment? Maybe even a small industry or a small company can do.
Yes, what I would like to say that things can change. Things can change for the better, but the employer or the person who is in charge, he has to change himself first. Okay, because if the boss or if the employer who is in stress, so definitely he is going to show the things. So first he has to change or she has to change, and then only the things will change. You see one thing, if you are taking care of your body, but if you are not taking care of your mind, then things are not going to happen. So both the things has to change. If you want to have a good life, if you want to have a happy life, you have to have the balance both. You should be physically fit at the same time mentally fit. So what I would like to say that if I can give one example of Indian case study, like Tata Motors or Tata Company of India. So why their employees are so happy? So if you ask any person who is working in Tata, so they are not unhappy. There is no you can say labor movement. There is no anything untoward incident happens. Why? Because Mr. Tata himself, he is happy. So that's why his employees are also happy. So if we can have person like him, person like Tata, person like Ratan Tata, so then our things will change. So basically what I want
Now the
to say.
question automatically comes here that how that element of happiness is going to come.
So you see one thing that is one should be very very satisfied with the thing which is happening. Suppose right now my capability of earning 1 lakh rupees per month, and if I want to earn 2 lakh 3 lakh, so then I would be unhappy because I would be running after money. So basically the employer they should also understand that what is my capability, what is my employee's capability, and accordingly that demand has to be there, target has to be there. Basically what happens, why the employees are unhappy? Because they run after the target. The bosses, they give them some target which are not feasible, which are not
But the question is that how exactly they, of course, everybody has to at the end of the day meet the target, achieve their business goals. But the question is that when they forget the line of, the humanity, and they become like a machine, and they basically just try to go as per their goal and their ambitions, isn't it? So how exactly to draw the line of sanity, do the demarcation so that people don't stress themselves. So what exactly one should do? That is what is my question. And as you talk about element of happiness, of course, it is important.
Now, one thing as there cannot be any black and white demarcation. There would be a gray area. So one cannot say no, I'm completely happy. Even I can really say most of us are not happy in that sense. So there are something which are still we are thinking, no, I have to get that, I have to get that, I have to get that. Okay, so happiness will only come. Okay, happiness will only come when you forget everything and you go to the forest or you go to the mountain.
Wow.
So only then I think happiness will come. Otherwise, if you are in the society, if you are in the if you are living in a society, so happiness, I think, is getting happiness. Complete happiness is an only distant dream. Okay.
Okay, it's a distant dream. So, Miss Glory, do you think it's a distant dream, or we can achieve it?
I would say that it's something that you can achieve even now. I feel like the problem with people trying to run after happiness is that we feel like it's something that we have to go and attain. Happiness is nothing but an emotional state. The people who are working in, really difficult jobs, living away from family, striving and struggling, let me just give you an example. People go for, very difficult competitions all around the world, where they have to struggle and fight and go through really risky, live a risky lifestyle. Why are they doing it? Because it promises them something in return. Maybe the monetary goal is something that they get in return. They're satisfied. They're very happy doing it, because they know that with me doing this, at least my family is happy. With me doing this, I am getting something in return, or it at least promises me something in return, which is what my need is right now. So it's the feeling, it's the sense of contentment that it's okay, I'm struggling. Life is a struggle. We meet so many people. I speak to so many people who are going through really difficult times in their lives. And sometimes they can have such a positive approach to it. So it's not about what the situation is, but it is more about, happiness is more about how you view the situation. What are your thoughts on the situation? You could be in the most terrible phase of your life, and there could be people who could just simply look at it and say, it's a phase and it'll pass. This too shall pass, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it through, the support of our family and our family members and all of that. So I feel like when we constantly keep hoping that, oh, happiness is this XYZ thing, when we get success, when we get money, when we get power, I don't think happiness comes from that. Happiness can be in the poorest of poor, and maybe the richest of richest are not happy having everything.
Agreed.
So so it is coming down to a state of mind of you feeling that whatever you have is enough.
Exactly. I would like to ask, thank you so much, Glory. I would like to ask Ms. Rai on a quick note. I'm sure like the time is ending and everybody has to leave. But of course, I just want to ask, Ms. Rai, what exactly do you think one should do apart from yoga? Like already you said that, of course, we should do yoga. Like how to condition the mind to go for the yoga? Because many people have a lot of inhibitions. They are not aware of yoga. They think that yoga is a very difficult thing. It can be only done under an instructor. So what exactly one can do to make the mind ready for doing yoga?
It's only one thing. Because in whole day we do everything for family, for husband, for children, for mother, father, everyone, for money, for home, for everything. Just choose yoga for yourself. I'm choosing yoga for myself. One day yoga told me, you give me every day only 1 hour, and I will give you everything. And he gave me everything.
Interesting. That's very inspiring.
Just you think, okay, I'm choosing something for me, not anyone, which is
you are saying that we have to be at a point sometimes selfish with ourselves, isn't it?
Exactly. Self, then fish. Divide karo. Self, then fish. So self is good.
Exactly.
Very good. Selfish is very good word. Actually, it's not a negative word.
Oh, yes.
And one thing to do.
True.
The most thing, don't tell negativity. Don't think negativity.
Perfect.
When you think positive, so every positive things is come on you. When you think negativity, every negative things on come with you.
True.
So why you yoga choose? For yourself. Just one thing, the simple thing. I'm choosing yoga for myself.
I'm so surprised and happy to know that how easily you said that, but it is really such an important thing which she has made. Mr. Diep, what exactly would you like to say? Maybe this is just a conclude, because we would like to conclude the show maybe in the next 5 minutes. Hi, Jack, you joined late, but then we are already in the end of our conversation. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask our speaker. So I would just come back to Mr. Diep. Mr. Diep, what exactly are your, maybe the conclusion of this particular wellness, if you want to make some quick conclusion?
Sorry, can you come back, please?
I'm saying that what exactly would be your conclusion for this topic today?
So firstly, I'm really sorry for my coming late. So I was very fast, as I've been called. Yeah, I couldn't have time to talk even on the road.
No,
so that's why you can see me.
That's okay, no problem. We can see the recording afterwards. Okay. I'm coming to our speaker, Mr. Diep. Mm-hmm. Mr. Diep, if you can just tell me, what is your conclusion of today's topic? If you can just, you are on mute, sir.
Well, I like to jump to the conclusion that happiness is a state of mind. You know, it doesn't really depend on surroundings, but you connect to yourself, your soul, and you talk to yourself. So now I'm working for this environment here, as Miss Glory said, it's a state of mind. So it doesn't really depend on surrounding. I'm working for this university. It makes me feel like at home. I feel happy. I feel at home. I don't feel like going to work every day. I feel like switching home, you know, my second home. So I have a sense of belonging. So what they did to me was like they organized, you know, a family inclusion day. So management wise is you're the employer there. You organize some sort of days that welcome the family members of the employees. They bring the families there, experience the day, get some perks, you know, get some sort of experience and say their family members are having a happy life there. And it is reciprocal. Employees feel, you know, like their family members are respected and they feel more at home again. So that's my conclusion. I don't feel like going to work. I feel like I'm living my life at workplace.
Perfect.
That's how I define happiness right now.
I would quickly ask my audience if Ms. Mohana, Mr. Shushil, Mr. Leonard, if you have any questions, since we are just at the end of the session, if you can just, yes, Mr. Leonard wants to ask a question. Please. Yeah, you are on mute, sir. Yeah, now we can hear.
My question is that yoga is more for the white people with fasting, and not the black people.
There is a disturbance, sir. We couldn't hear you.
We had some benefit for the white people with white skin, and not the black people from Africa, for example, with black skin. Now, what is your point of view?
Okay, for yoga, or is it for wellness? Hello?
Yoga.
Okay, so there is a question for Ms. Rai actually, that many people in Africa are thinking yoga is a kind of a myth, or it is a kind of a black magic or some white magic. So do you think that yoga can be done by a common people? That is what exactly is the question.
No. Never ever. Yoga never done this like things, okay? Yoga is yourself. Yoga is your soulmate, you know? Yoga is your soulmate. Only yoga understood you. No one can understood you properly. Only yoga understood you properly. A to Z, okay? Yoga is the most living God, you know. You just start yoga, then you feel it. And that's why some people are told like that yoga is a black magic. Because of when you do the yoga, you directly connected to the universe. Perfect. And when you connected to the universe, that time your body is purified. And when your body is purified, you think, you everything you think, whatever you think, it's different from anybody.
I see.
So that people think like that, oh, she's doing some black magic. Because everyone is influenced by your nature, by your words, by your face expressions. That time, you know, you can't, if you don't speak anything, it's okay, fine. Just people see you and they got a relaxation. Because of your aura.
Have the glow or the exuberance of divinity will come from you. Exactly.
Divinity is come. That's why people call sometimes people call like that, yoga know the black magic. It's not black magic, man. It's a spirituality. It's a connection with your soul to universe soul. Your soul to universe soul.
Very true.
Okay.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Leonard. Miss Mohana, Miss, anyone has question? Or
this is amazing question. Thank you for that.
So yeah, I got a question. So I hear what you said, but I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Please.
So my question is, so she said that yoga is going to connect you with your universe, and then you'll be speaking somebody. So you'll be you once you get inside of that, you are connected already. But the question is, so if you are not connected, so if you are in a natural like this, what you'll be speaking or what you can speak is not really true, or it's if you want to speak what is right, you have to be connected just with yoga and the universe.
What he said, exactly.
He is trying to say that when a person is doing yoga and at the same time he is trying to express himself, so he has to be truthful, or he basically will say something which is not really true, or sometimes, in life we are not saying everything true. And a person who is doing yoga, how much truthful the person he himself or herself is. Are you?
No,
Yeah,
no,
you're right,
see,
sir. Thank you.
see,
Yeah, please.
if you're telling lie on
Yeah.
yourself, so it's harmful for you. So you don't think anybody. You think on yourself. If you're
Okay.
telling I am doing yoga, but you end of the day you're not doing yoga, so what is who is suffering from this life?
Exactly.
Only
You yourself is suffering. I quickly come back to Mr. Deep. Just for a last question, I will take on. Mr. Deep, like you have handled students, and you must have seen that a lot of problem happens when the student come and tell you a lie. And you being a teacher, many times have understood that the student is telling a lie. So what is the reaction as a teacher?
Telling a lie. Okay. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the person and how close we are in terms of relationship. I might just throw a joke in and make him realize that you're gonna have some regrets that for telling me a lie. But really, it depends on how close we are.
Okay.
Yeah. So try and have fun. Try and have fun. If it's a lie that doesn't hurt anybody, so it's just go with the flow and try and have fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy. Thank you so much, all of you, because we are just coming to the end of this session. It has really been a lovely discussion, and I look forward to connect with you all, some good minds, for one more session, maybe sometime when you are available. And if you guys are really interested, I'm sure all of you have loved this discussion. We would love to enrich people through our wellness talk. We would make sure that we would try to establish this communication among the society, that this kind of good things or good initiatives can only be done when you have the intention to do so. The first thing what our speaker said today, that we first have to make an intention, like Ms. Rai said, that we have to invest some time for yourself. Ms. Glory said we have to make the right initiative. Mr. Diep also said that it's important for us to put up the good initiative, good communication. So I think it is very important that all of us, when join hands for a better cause, for a better reason, and we want to make sure that we pass on this positivity to the next generation, and then only we can see that some good things are happening around. Maybe the next generation who will pass on, they will at least take on the message that how exactly we can live a better life and make a better world for tomorrow. So with this note, I would really like to conclude today's session. Thank you all. Take care. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.